All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the broadcast booth here. Chet and Duffy live once again here on Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. I'm your host, Chet, and of course, as always, Duffy. How we doing, my friend? It's been a very
Yeah,
interesting offseason so far, to say the least, here in the
interesting.
NFL.
Yeah, I mean, Chet, great to see you, man. Awesome to see you again. Haven't done the show in a couple of weeks since last St. Patty's Day. So last week when Tay Adams was traded to the Raiders. But crazy is an understatement, or interesting is actually. I mean, this has been a wild offseason. It's probably the best ever in NFL history. I mean, this offseason is crazy, and some new things have happened this past week that me and you have witnessed, and let's talk about it a little bit, baby.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of starting right out of the gate, the biggest move that was no, I shouldn't even say the biggest move. It was definitely one of the biggest trades, and it was a trade that really nobody expected until literally moments later. Kansas City Chiefs decided to part ways with their starting wide receiver, who you can't really see. You can see Travis Kelce shedding a tear
I
right
should move
there.
my face a little bit.
Yeah, but regardless, Tyreek Hill couldn't come to an agreement contract with the Kansas City Chiefs and was traded to the Miami Dolphins for 5 draft picks, a 2022 first rounder, a second round pick, a fourth round pick, plus a fourth and sixth round pick for the 2023 draft. So Hill shipped off to Miami. The Dolphins now have found themselves a brand new weapon alongside of some solid acquisitions, such as they get Mike Gesicki back, and then you also get Raheem Mostert in the mix, as well as one other tailback who's not on the tip of my tongue right now. But then you also signed Teddy Bridgewater. The Dolphins are really buying in big time this offseason, and this is
Yeah,
the cherry on top right here.
fine and huge. And for a team like Miami, I mean, this is a team that gave up 5 draft picks for Tyreek Hill, a wide receiver, which is a questionable move 9 out of 10 times to do that. Give up 5 draft picks for any player, let alone a wide receiver. But it's a team that's had an incredible rebuild the last 3 years. They've stockpiled so many draft picks, and they still have 2 first-round picks in 2023. Can you believe that? I mean,
No, I
it's
can't.
crazy. I mean, this is a team that is so poised for success in the future. I mean, we got to see how Mike McDaniel is as a head coach first, the former Niners offensive coordinator. But this team, Miami, they got Tyreek Hill. Incredible acquisition for any team. Tyreek Hill, he's gonna make their offense way better, and it brings up a lot of points. I mean, first and foremost, you asked the question. We're gonna see how good Tua actually is this season. I mean, with a receiver like Tyreek Hill, out wide. The best receiver he's had the last few years was Devontae Parker, really, and Jalen Waddle last year with, I think, 100 catches his rookie year. Statistically speaking, this is the fastest wide receiver tandem in league history. I mean, Jalen Waddle was both these guys are 4-3 type of guys, going to be on the same team. So, Miami's dangerous now. They got Chase Edmonds, they got Raheem Mostert in the backfield.
That was the name I was missing.
Dude, this is a team that started 1-7 last year, finished 9-8, right? 9-8, I believe it was, yeah. And they won 7 in a row at one point, almost snuck into the playoffs. But this team's ready to compete, bro. And as a Patriots fan, your timbers got to be shivered a little bit. Watching this team get so much better in the offseason, just adding weapons, just improving the entire offense, basically. And, maybe there was some heat about, giving 6 figures a game to lose to Brian Flores. Have to get a little bit better this offseason. But Miami, dude, they are poised for some success in the nearby future. And as a Pats fan, it scares me a little bit. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Shook is definitely the best way of putting it. I mean, in terms of an adjective, because now you're talking about a team that literally knows last season they could have found themselves in the playoffs. However, it's a little contradicting because of the moves they made before the offseason began, with Brian Flores departing in favor of a new head coach. It's very tough to see why they do that. However, they wanted another guy to really run this team. But regardless, the pieces they brought together here have made this team a much more dangerous piece in not just only the AFC East, but in the AFC itself. So when you look at what Tyreek Hill has done in his career, 4 out of his 6 seasons in the NFL have all been 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He's had more than 6 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns since his rookie season. His career high was last year, 2 years ago now, in 2020, when he caught 15 touchdown passes. This year, he finished with only 9, which is still solid. Tyreek Hill has proven to be one of the league's fastest and best receivers down the stretch. And all those pieces brought together with Chase Edmonds, with Raheem Mostert, with Jalen Waddle, with Mike Gesicki coming back, you've got yourself a pretty stellar offense that can definitely compete with teams now like the New England Patriots, with the Buffalo Bills. And honestly, it's tough. I mean, some people are ready to write this team off, but you bring up a good point about Jalen Waddle reaching 100 catches in his rookie season. If they can do,
or like 90 something, it was at least 90 something, bro.
If you can
look it up right now, actually.
Yeah, if you can do that in your rookie season with Tua Tagovailoa, who has definitely had a career that is yet to be designed.
104 catches. Yeah, he had 100 catches.
Yeah. So Tua Tagovailoa, not the greatest quarterback you could ever ask for, but he's able to find the man. And Tyreek Hill is a man that you can find and will find, because he's got the speed and the agility to get open. And it's really tough to see. I mean, I think the only team right now in the AFC East that can stop this team is the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots, I'm sure, will try to find ways. However,
that's a good point. It's a good point, because the Dolphins did sweep the Pats last year.
Granted, Brian Flores knew the system. It's a little bit different now. We're talking,
true.
But it's like at this point, I feel like most of the team, not to say that they're gonna not know now, but they've been coached the past few years to know who these Patriots are. And the Patriots have always had a tough time going into Miami. They haven't won there since 2016. So it's going to be tough sledding going forward. But for the Miami Dolphins, signing him now to a 4-year, $120 million contract, this keeps him in the AFC East for at least 4 more seasons and really sets the table that Miami will probably end up either being the 1st or 2nd seed in the AFC East come the end of the year.
Yeah, I think – wait, can you see my camera right now?
Yes.
All right. I think that, realistically speaking, dude, I think the Pats right now are the 3rd best team in the AFC East. And like you just said, Miami's poised for a 1st or 2nd seed in the AFC East. I think that on paper they should be number 2 in the AFC East. I mean, look at that defense last year. Throughout their 7-game win streak, I mean, they were holding opponents to perennially 10 to 15 points a game. I mean, that game against the Baltimore Ravens on TNF, prime example. I mean, the Ravens were, I think, 6-2 maybe at the time. Miami was 2-6, and Miami just held them to like 9 points on offense, and it shocked everybody. But this Dolphins defense is stout. You got Xavier Howard. Not a lot of big names on that defense, but they can compete with anybody on defense. But my boy Cam Rank says yesterday, I mean, the transition also from a defensive mind like Brian Flores to an offensive mind like Mike McDaniel. Their defense might not translate as well for next season, especially with the new head coach. So, when you look at past success last year compared to this year, I think that the roster is way better on paper. But that's a big factor to take into account is who's leading the team. Brian Flores was a tremendous head coach. Got fired for a lot of external reasons. Because they offered him money to lose games,
which in and of itself is very screwed up.
Very screwed up, and he took that team, I mean, to back-to-back winning seasons, which was, for the Miami Dolphins this century, is unprecedented. I mean, like, he was the best coach they've had in the last 15 years. So, Mike McDaniel, though, great mind. His offense should be explosive. And if it's not, then Tua Tagovailoa will not have a starting job in 2023. He won't. So, this is really the do or die moment for Tua. And we've seen Tua be so poised the last couple of years. You know, be in trade talks. You know, whether it be for Deshaun Watson or whoever else. Pretty much just Deshaun Watson the last year, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about Deshaun Watson later, by the way, because I had some takes about Deshaun Watson. It was so
That is true.
I mean, but seriously, I mean, you know, this is it for him, dude. I mean, you get Tyreek Hill, you know, in his home state, pretty much his home, like he said, and in the stadium where he won his first Super Bowl. You know, I mean, this is it for Tua Tagovailoa. If he does not perform this year, then he's done in Miami. You know, it's league of production, and maybe with a new head coach to give him one more year in 2023. But I think higher ups will probably say, "Nah, this guy's out," and I think it'll be really hard for him not to succeed. Also, so I think that I think he's got to do well, and I think that he will, honestly, because we saw it throughout that stretch. I mean, there was a period of time where he had the highest pass rating in the league over a 5-game stretch last season, I think it was. You know, he's good when he wants to be, but, you know, having Tyreek Hill will really test out, you know, if he's an elite franchise quarterback for Miami.
Yeah, and it really kind of sets the table here because, as mentioned before, Teddy Bridgewater was just recently signed to the team, so we've got ourselves a quarterback battle.
No, coming. We don't, though.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because hear me out. Because think about
Teddy
this.
B would start a game as if Tua gets hurt and Teddy B has a couple good games. Okay,
it's definitely more promising to have him be a starter alongside Tua than it was when they brought in Jacoby Brissett to have him fight against.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but Brissett.
Okay. Obviously, I think Tua will end up getting the starting job regardless, but you never know. That's why they brought him in. They signed him to a lot of money, too, just to have him come to the team. $12 million for 2 years. That's six. That's six
good.
A year.
That's good backup QB money for sure. But the thing with Teddy B is that, I mean, with Teddy B, it's just like, dude, like this guy. You saw him in Denver last year, mediocre. I mean, Denver's a great football team, and with Russ Wilson now, they're a great football team. But before they were a really good football team on paper, they were a quarterback away, and he couldn't do it. He won what 7 games, 7 and 10 maybe. Year before, I mean, he's in Carolina.
He was injured most of last year.
McCaffrey got hurt. Yeah, he was injured for like 4 games, bro. What do you mean? Maybe like.
Well, he was injured towards the final stretch, and that's when
he
was in.
He was, yeah. Locke played the last few games, but Teddy B, I mean, he's not beating Tua for that job. I mean, Tua's a young guy. Tua's a good quarterback. And
people
Tua because it's trending. Yeah. He's the worst out of the top 3 quarterbacks from this draft class with Herbert and Burrow, but Tua's a good quarterback. So, Teddy B, man. I mean, this guy, it's not you won't win games with Teddy B, you know?
No. And I mean, the last time we saw him be successful was when he was backing up for the New Orleans Saints at the time.
Yeah, with fucking
Drew Brees still there.
With Sean Payton at the helm too. I'm so sorry.
But yeah.
Like, that's just my takes on it, man. But I think Miami this year should be they could be a playoff team with how deep the AFC is. I don't know if they will be. But on paper, bro, I mean, they're the second best team in the division right now, and it's not even close. But
yeah,
we're 15 minutes in, dude. I think we should talk about another signing.
I mean,
Any final thoughts, though?
I mean, my final thoughts of the matter are, it's a tough move for the Chiefs to make because this was the writing on the wall that me and several other people who I've talked to about in recent months, I should say, have mentioned the Chiefs are in a very difficult situation right now, as were the Green Bay Packers, because these two teams dumped everything they had into Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers has a nearly, $40 million a year on his contract.
Oh, yeah, it's like 40-something, 50 right now, dude.
Yeah. So. And then Mahomes, $500 million for 10 years. This was going to be trouble, and the Chiefs knew it going down the road, but they did it anyways because they wanted to keep him, which is big. You get your starter, but as a result, the weapons are gone. Hill is gone. Now they get Marquez Valdez-Scantling to replace him. And then for
that's who they
the
got
Green Bay,
was Marquez. They got Marquez.
yes, yes. And then
I mean, Mahomes will make them good, but it's
and then
just
the Packers, now no more Valdez-Scantling, no more Adams. Your number one guy is Alan Lazard. Like,
it gives me those 2015 vibes where Rodgers number one was James Jones when Jordy Nelson got injured. But dude,
the NFL is definitely
back to the Chiefs though.
Basically my point is the NFL is definitely geared towards the quarterback. The quarterback is the man who runs the team. That's who he is. He is the ultimate leader at the end of the day. But the problem is these two organizations made the biggest mistake by putting everything they had into those guys, and then their talented weapons are now gone. The Chiefs only have Travis Kelce to really boost their roster. I mean, what are you going to say? You're going to say Byron Pringle and McCole Hardman are going to win you a championship? Like, sure, Mahomes, we'll see what he'll do without Tyreek Hill. Tom Brady did it with Rob Gronkowski and literally breadcrumbs, I guess you could say, if you don't consider Julian Edelman a top 10 wide receiver. This is a test right now to see if these quarterbacks can truly play the game without a number one guy like Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams.
But it's also like the Chiefs, they gave a lot of money to like a lot of other guys. You look at Chris Jones, Frank Clark, I think too. I mean, Chris Jones is the 9th highest cap hit in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
That's defensive tackle. You got you Travis Kelce, hella money. So many guys. I mean, sooner and later the bubble had to burst. And here it is. Tyreek Hill's to the Miami Dolphins now. And it's great for football fans, if you hate the Chiefs. But that Mahomes Hill combo is one of the best ever, And if you're looking at the numbers, I mean, it's one of the best quarterback receiving duos probably in the last 10 years we've ever seen. But even with the Packers too, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, and that's in that same category also. But like you said, Chet, these quarterbacks, they just want money. They just want money, and we saw Brady earlier this week take a pay cut to get Leonard Fournette back on the team. And, not everyone can do that. Not everyone has the humility to do that, I guess. And, I don't want to say all that because I don't know what goes on in these players' minds. I'm not going to be in the NFL, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just like, dude, like, Aaron Rodgers, you've made enough money in this league. Like, why do you need $50 million a year, bro?
Yeah.
Like, your best receiver is Alan Lazard. Like, does winning mean anything to you? But I guess that's just human nature too. Because if I was in the NFL and if I had one ring like Aaron Rodgers did 10 years ago, and I could still play the game at a high level, I might take the money too. I don't know. You never really know. But it sucks to see Tyreek Hill go for the Chiefs' sake, but it's good for the rest of the NFL, baby. So I'm glad that happened.
Absolutely, and I think that
but
is
these guys just want money, man. Tyreek Hill. Okay, this is my problem with Tyreek Hill, by the way. Yeah. He wanted an Adams type of contract, and you can make the case that Adams plays with.
Adams is 10 times better than Tyreek Hill.
Devontae Adams is a beautiful route runner, pass catcher, red zone threat. This guy's incredible. And he has been for a long time. Tyreek Hill is incredible also, but his main thing is speed. How long can you be fast for? That's the thing. We've seen a lot of fast guys flail out in the NFL. He's going to a different team now with Tua Tagovailoa. And just left Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback ever. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a great point.
People say it's a hot take, but if you watch the tape, if you watch the NFL for a long time, man, Patrick Mahomes he's up there. He's different.
This will be the true test for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Tyreek Hill has proven to be a number one guy in Kansas City. Can he do it in Miami? That is yet to be seen. We still have months away, obviously. It is March right now. We have until September until we'll see anything unfold.
Talk about Matt Ryan a little bit, though.
Yeah, a good segue into Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
I can see a picture for him, dude. I thought you had a picture for him. Yo, here's what I want to say, though, about Matt Ryan. First and foremost, prayers to our boy Matt Heatu.
Yes.
losing his franchise quarterback. After many years as a fan of the Falcons, probably over 10 right now for my boy Matt Heatu. But Um, Matt Ryan to the Colts, and I saw the funniest Instagram comment today. I know what it was.
What?
It was, what's up with the Colts obsessed with all these 80 overall quarterbacks? Like Carson Wentz,
Honestly, this is what I mentioned to my dad the other day. I was like, notice how the Colts have gone through 3 different quarterbacks since Andrew Luck retired.
4,
basically. I mean, but I mean, in terms of 3
acquiring them.
Well, I'd say 3 in the last 3 seasons. They have a different quarterback in the last 3 seasons running the team. You start off with Phillip Rivers, who had a really solid year, retires after they lose in the wild card round. You get Carson Wentz in a trade. That doesn't work out because the Jaguars knock you out of playoff contention. And honestly, I'm just saying this for the record. I think they threw him out the door too quickly. That's just me. But then
I think so too.
But then you get Matt Ryan. And the only thing the Colts gave up in this trade was a 3rd-round pick for him for this year. That's a solid move, honestly. And I mean, for the Falcons, you could have gotten maybe a little bit more out of that. But now you look at, I mean, before we get into what this means for Indianapolis, I want to mention what this looks like now for Atlanta. Now, your top receiver is Tajay Sharp. Your running back is Cordero Patterson, and then you have Kyle Pitts as your tight end.
Where did Russell Gage go again?
Russell Gage, let me check right.
Definitely left, but I forget where he went.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, Atlanta, bro, and your quarterback's Marcus Mariota now. I mean,
Tampa Bay. He went to Tampa Bay.
I'll be honest, bro.
Even worse.
This Atlanta team, I'll be honest, this is a team that is poised for potentially the number 1 pick in 2023.
They are poised for potentially one of the worst seasons in NFL history. You have Marcus Mariota as your starter.
Stop. They're not poised for the worst seasons ever. But dude, it's funny because the other week when we thought Brady was retired and all that, and I picked the Falcons win the NFC South, bro. Remember?
Yeah. I mean, that was before we knew anything was going to happen.
Yeah, that's when Brady was still retired and Matt Ryan was still a Falcon, etc. But same with the end of the day, bro. I mean, Tyreek Hill, that whole saga lasted 2 hours before he was traded to the Dolphins. That whole thing was 2 hours long, bro.
Yeah, and literally, I thought we weren't going to hear anything for a couple days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, every other trade happened like by 11 a.m.
Yeah, because it's kind of funny because I just started a job recently, and one of the line cooks mentioned he was a Miami Dolphins fan, and then all of a sudden I was like, bro, they just because I was looking at the headlines and I told him I was like. Yeah, I broke the news to him, but like I told him when we were there, it's like the Jets and the Dolphins are the 2 top front runners to get Hill in a trade. And then, an hour later, I was like, dude, they just got Tyreek Hill. And he was like, no way.
Dude, I actually love the Jets front office because I feel like they're always there in like the team's interested.
Yeah.
And never make moves. The only move they ever made was Le'Veon Bell.
and Jamal Adams.
And Jamal Adams. Yeah, Jamal Adams. But
they
drafted Jamal Adams though.
But that's the problem with the Jets because they
definitely won that trade though. They definitely won that trade with the Seahawks.
That's the thing. The Jets front office knows what they're doing in terms of acquiring and selling players, but the problem is I said is twice, but regardless, they just can't get anybody to come to their team. It's such a broken organization to the point that no player that comes there will ever play good. The last time we saw a good Jets team was when Ryan Fitzpatrick had Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall to throw to.
That was such a fun team, though.
That was a fun team to watch.
I love that team, bro.
But getting it back to Matt Ryan, what this means for the Colts is a lot because Matt Ryan, despite not having great times in Atlanta since the 2017 season, I might add, when the New England Patriots took them down in the Super Bowl. 16. Yeah. But regardless, this is just a good place for him to be. You're talking about Jonathan Taylor, who was the league's leading rusher last season. And then you're talking about, even though a receiving core that's not the best in the league, it's a solid core. Michael Pittman Jr. proved to be a very solid wideout there. And then you still have solid tight ends. You have a great, and I trust Frank Reich so much in terms of his defensive playbook that I think this is a team that he'll thrive in.
Yeah, this defense is excellent. I mean, Darius Leonard, he's on pace to be one of the best linebackers ever. Look at his numbers. He has over 130 tackles every year, I think.
And then did
DeForest Buckner.
Kwity Paye have a good season? He did, right?
Yeah, he had some sacks. He was all right, I think. But
but DeForest Buckner,
but he's definitely a solid player, Kwity Paye.
Yeah, and DeForest Buckner, obviously that's a name you have to mention because he's easily one of the top defensive tackles in the NFL.
Yeah.
And this team is just poised to once again make a playoff push. And I get it. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, two totally different animals because Carson Wentz truly has never been in a playoff game ever or on the line to get into the playoffs.
It's crazy because, dude, Eagles in that era, I mean, we saw six playoff games for the Eagles in the Wentz era, and he played 5 minutes total in all of them.
Yep. That's sad.
That's my favorite stat from the Eagles. I mean, but with Carson Wentz, you said earlier that you thought, maybe they pushed him out the door a little bit too early. And looking at his stats, I would say, yeah, kind of. I mean, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. I think he had 5 straight games with 2 touchdowns and no picks at one point. He was solid for that team. He was very solid for that team for a while. But, that Week 18 game, I mean, that was it, bro. I mean, when they lost to the Jaguars, Carson Wentz was out. And if Carson Wentz, I came on this show and said there's no way in hell the Colts lose this game, and they lost. I mean, if Carson Wentz wins that game, he's still the quarterback for the Colts. Simple as that. And Matt Ryan might still be a Falcon.
Yeah.
But, it didn't happen. And that's so crazy. That's crazy because one game can change careers, in the NFL. That's why we love the game. But, I mean, Matt Ryan, I think, is certainly an upgrade over Carson Wentz. We've seen it the last few years. He still has it. I mean, he had his worst season last year in a very long time. It was the first time last year they threw for under 4,000 yards, I think, since his rookie year in the NFL. So, or his second year or something like that. And, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy for any quarterback. I mean, Matt Ryan's one of the best passers ever, one of the most efficient touchdown passers ever. I mean, this guy's a beast, MVP in 2016. And for the Colts, I mean, I think he can play 3 years there maybe if he doesn't suck this year because we know the Colts are with their patience with veteran quarterbacks. But, if Matt Ryan can have a good year this year, if they go 10-7, make the playoffs, he'll be back in 23, maybe 24. I think he'll retire a Colt. So this is a great move for him and his family. Falcons organization is broken. They're busted. They have not been the same since the Pats came back on them in 2016. So, yeah, and the Colts organization, on the other hand, definitely more structured, more built. They've won games before. They can win with different quarterbacks. And I think Matt Ryan will be the next chapter of this era for at least 2 and hopefully 3 seasons.
Absolutely. Some great points right there. Colts definitely look like they are on the rise once again. They've found a man to run the team, and that they've put the trust into Matt Ryan. We'll see how it pans out. And now another organization that has really kind of just struggled throughout their lifetime as a franchise in this league has made a splash in the trade market. Deshaun Watson traded from the Houston Texans.
This was the day after we recorded.
Yeah. Going to the Cleveland Browns. The Texans in the trade receive 3 first-round picks for the 2022, 2023, and 2024 season, 1 third-round pick for 2023, and then 2 fourth-round picks in 2022 and 2024. The Browns received Deshaun Watson and a 2024 6th-round pick. Easily one of the biggest trades of all time, and this puts easily one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL on a new team. And this is a guy who's brought a very controversial background with him to this team, which it seems a lot of players that go to Cleveland now are controversial. They're the new Oakland Raiders, really, if you look at it. And it brings a lot of question marks because Baker Mayfield.
Cowboys, I guess,
Baker Mayfield still on the team during this trade when it was occurring, and he's still on the roster. Yeah. So Browns get Deshaun Watson. My thoughts on this is it's a great move. Obviously, you get a mobile, accurate passer on your team. You have a very, very solid chance to stand up to a team like the Baltimore Ravens, like the Cincinnati Bengals, like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I might add. But it's questionable to me because you bring in a guy who has a lot of baggage on him, and
That's good. That's good noun for that. Baggage.
Yeah, it is
Very
baggage.
Good choice of wordage right there.
There's just a lot that circulates around him. The rest of the league did not want to touch him. But for the Cleveland Browns, this definitely boosts them to potentially a second or third place spot in the AFC North this upcoming season. I like the move, but I don't like the player they're getting as a result.
Honestly, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a good football move. Because obviously Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. But for the Browns, they've lost all my respects this offseason. I have a Cleveland Browns shirt. You've probably seen me wear it. I got it from Walmart 2 years ago for like really cheap.
Yeah.
I want to burn it now. I mean, this organization is such a joke. They absolutely throw their quarterback, who brought them out of irrelevancy, won their first playoff game, under the bus for not being an adult. And I know Baker Mayfield probably was being a dick a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you can tell he's kind of a D-bag in his commercials and here and there in his interviews. You can tell.
I don't think he's being a D-bag in his commercials. I think it's pretty funny.
I think he's sports they are funny, but interview-wise, leadership-wise, you can tell he's not the best leader or team guy, which is fine. But the way they scapegoated him, after he had 2 really good seasons in the last 4 years in his tenure in Cleveland. I mean, dude, like, it rubbed me the wrong way so bad because you did not win a playoff game for 23 years before drafting this kid in 2018.
Exactly.
And you're going to sit here and say that you're going to give a sexual predator $240 million of guaranteed money. I posted my Facebook. I think you saw it. Maybe you did. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't really look at Facebook that much.
Watson getting $240 million guaranteed the day after he's innocent. That was my most disappointing moment as a sports fan, dude. I have a mom, sister, a lot of female friends, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like, that's the reason why. But I mean, when you look at it, bro. I mean, 22 cases. You're gonna tell me all those shorties were lying? Doesn't make any sense. And
no,
for anyone. And there's a lot of apologists out here saying he's innocent here and there. You gotta forgive him, but there's absolutely no way that you're gonna have 22 claims beat an NFL lawyer. That doesn't make any sense. It's not gonna happen. I think anyone who's seen the NFL the last few years with all these TV cases, and even with Ben Roethlisberger's case 10 plus years ago, knew how this was going to end. That Sean was going to play football again, because it's the NFL lawyer, the best lawyer in fucking Texas. Sorry again. This thing just makes me so mad, dude.
Yeah, it angers me too because, like you said, 22 people came forward about this guy harming them in a sexual way, which is not okay. But we have seen this time and time again throughout the league, starting with Big Ben, going to people like Ray Rice, Kareem Hunt. And then what happens is the team either benches the player or cuts them, and a year later, everyone forgets about it. Somehow, magically, poof, the whole idea of this person being a piece of crap, gone. Like they never do it again. I mean, sure, people change, but the fact of the matter is 22. You're going to tell me there was no money involved? There was no payoffs? Nothing? Like,
dude, the fact
I know we could be crossing the line with really ridiculing Deshaun Watson, but at the end of the day, it's like,
because when you intellectualize the whole thing, that doesn't make any sense. That he's innocent. 23 women for the last 12 months. We're going through these claims. And you're going against an NFL lawyer. You're going to lose if there's no video footage of any of that. The Ray Rice would still be playing today if there wasn't a video of the elevator. Kareem Hunt would still be on the Chiefs if there wasn't a video. If there was a video of Kareem Hunt 4 years ago on the Chiefs would have probably won the Super Bowl that year, bro, in 2018.
Absolutely.
So, there's gonna be no video in a massage room, and with Deshaun Watson, like I just rubs me the wrong way because like I've never liked this kid that much. And even I remember you even said to me a few years ago, you're like, do you see Deshaun Watson's interview after the Bills playoff win? He was just hyping himself up the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's all he talked about was me, 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 me.
An arrogant kid, dude. And the fact that he didn't even show any remorse whatsoever about any of this, like no statement or anything when it first happened either. I mean, you can't. I mean, that would be kind of incriminating too,
Yeah.
obviously. But the fact that he couldn't even go out in the media, dude, like this guy was idle for the last year. His last tweet was in like June of last year before last week. So it just devastates me. I mean, he can just walk free and make that much money. I mean, dude, it just makes me so upset, dude. I mean, maybe he is innocent, but when you really intellectualize the whole thing, there's no way. There's no way.
It doesn't make sense. Like why would all 22 of these people be lying?
So I'm saying, you think with Big Ben 10 years ago, do you think more than one girl would have came out and said the same thing? I mean, Sean Watson, 22, bro, 22. And it's just terrible, bro. And it's just
So
makes me sick to my stomach. I don't talk about this kid anymore, dude. This is my least favorite player in the NFL, and our weekly Deshaun Watson segment is back, baby.
What's going on in the world of Deshaun Watson? And honestly, at the end of the day, looking at the trade on paper for Cleveland, it boosts them a lot. This helps the team in terms of going from a B quarterback to at least an A- or a solid A quarterback right here. The position is filled. This is the guy you need to make a run for a championship. Absolutely. But for Baker Mayfield, I really think he got shafted in this one in terms of going to a playoff game, winning that playoff game, nearly being the Chiefs in the next round to go to the AFC Championship game, then continues to play next season when the team's down bad, having to trade Odell Beckham. Baker gets hurt and continues to play and needs shoulder surgery at the end of the season. And then the Browns get all pissy and go and get this guy. For me, that's not right. Like, that's not right, in my opinion. It proves how desperate this team is to be like, we need to be in conversations all the time. All the time. That's what this move means.
It's pretty much what it means, man. And hey, they got it. So their team did get better. I'm not gonna lie, but if I'm Baker Mayfield, man, I'm pretty down bad right now. Pretty down bad, and just the disrespect from a poverty franchise as the Cleveland Browns are. Just disrespectful, man. It's terrible what they did to Baker, and like I said, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, but just terrible. It's terrible.
Truly is. So now we'll get off the topic of the National Football League and move into the NCAA. March Madness is starting up again tonight. There are 4 college games going on as of right now. 2 have started between Arkansas and Gonzaga, Michigan and Villanova, Texas Tech and Duke, and then Houston and Arizona will be playing tonight around 9 o'clock. The first 2 games are already underway. The first half in Gonzaga, the score is 30-29. Arkansas leading Gonzaga at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And then Villanova's leading Michigan with 8:43 left on the first half. 20-15 is your score. Updates will continue there. But right now, Sweet 16 underway here for March Madness, and there's been some quite interesting games that have been won and lost here. St. Peter's has been one of the most shocking teams so far in the bracket, beating Murray State and Kentucky in the first round to go and face the number 3 seed Purdue. That's a big one right there that needs to be talked about.
Dude, St. Peter's, this team is, they're a feisty team. Back-to-back wins. They won by double digits against Murray State, 70-60, I believe it was. And this team, I mean, we've never seen a 15 seed in the Elite Eight, so maybe it'll happen. Probably won't. I mean, they're playing who again? They're playing Purdue, right?
Yeah, they're playing Purdue.
Purdue's a very good team. They were ranked number 1 in the country at one point this year. So, man, that would be the upset of the ages. They're not playing tonight, are they? They're playing tomorrow?
Yeah, they're playing tomorrow night, I believe. Yes, they're playing tomorrow night. And then, I mean, another game that you have to look at is Kansas and Providence going up against one another. Because
That'll be
honestly,
fun. That'll be very fun.
Ed Cooley has put together a very solid team for the Providence College Friars. And the Kansas Jayhawks, they're no stranger to this round. They're usually here almost every single year. Kansas definitely one of the top teams in all of the NCAA men's basketball division. So for them to be here against Providence, this really spells a lot, but I don't know who to put my money on. I like both teams. I mean, obviously, I hesitantly like the Friars, considering you and I are both Rams. Rhody Rams, go Rams. You know, getting Archie Miller.
I would love a rallying team to beat Kansas.
Yeah,
be fire.
it would be.
How's this lighting look better?
It's looked great this whole episode. You're good. And then another matchup that was really interesting, Iowa State taking down LSU in the first round and then taking down the number 3 seed Wisconsin in the round of 32.
That Iowa State-Wisconsin game was crazy. I was watching that the other day, and Iowa State, I mean, very low-scoring game. I think it was 53-48 or something like that.
54-49. You're a digit off on each.
I lost the under by – I had it under 102.5, and it was 103 points.
Damn.
Iowa State, they were up a lot that game. The kid on the team, number 5, I forget his name, but he was a really good player for them, hitting threes, getting rebounds. But that's the team also. They missed their last 8 field goals of the game, and they still won. So they had to close out better. And against who are they playing this weekend?
Iowa State's going to be playing the number 10 seed Miami, who just defeated Auburn in the round of 32.
A 10-11, baby. I'm taking Iowa State. Because I had Auburn to win the championship. You told me a jabroni earlier, man, or whatever.
Probably jabroni.
Yeah, I picked Auburn, dude, and it backfired. My bracket's so busted. I might come in last in all my pools, dude. I suck.
So nobody was surprised about UCLA making it all the way to the Sweet 16. And I guess you could say the same thing about Chapel Hill, otherwise known as North Carolina.
UNC beat Baylor, number 1 seed.
Yeah, but the thing is I honestly thought they would have taken down
UNC, dude. I had a feeling they were gonna win.
I knew they were gonna take down Baylor because Baylor has a really hurt roster going into the March Madness bracket. But the thing is Baylor battled back in the second half. They scored 51 points alone to tie the game and force overtime. And UNC still managed to hang on and get itself the lead back and close the game out by a final score of 93-86. They will go on to face UCLA tomorrow night.
Baylor sold really hard, man. I'm not going to lie. They sold really hard at the end in overtime, but dude, they were down 63-38, I think, with like 12 minutes left. And I was in New Hampshire. We literally had left at that point. We were going back to the round anyways, but that was like the time we left at was like the score was like a 23-point game still, or a 25-point game.
Sure.
I was like, this shit's over. I just lost like $10. So I had Baylor money line live when they were losing in the first half. And dude, we're in the car driving back to Southern New Hampshire, Northern Mass. Boom, bro. This game's going to OT, and we're like, what what, dude? But dude, Baylor to start overtime, they were minus 200 to win. So $20 to win $10. That's how momentous they were going into OT. But North Carolina. Ooh, thank you. North Carolina, I mean, this team, man, they battled back. They battled back big. So you gotta give them credit where it's due. And Chet, can you see me, bro? Chet? Yo, Chet.
very strange. We apologize right there.
Yo, did you? Yeah, I just came back in. Damn.
I don't know what happened there, ladies and gentlemen.
That was weird.
So, as we kind of wrap up the segment here, the last things I mentioned there were looking back at what we've got left here. You got Gonzaga and Arkansas now at half, the score 32-29, Gonzaga trailing Arkansas here. And then you got, excuse me. Oh, okay. There we go. And then you got Michigan and Villanova as of right now with 5:53 left, score still 20-15. Then you got Texas Tech and Duke and Arizona and Houston. Honestly, if Arkansas can hold on, potentially take down Gonzaga, which I don't want to have happen. I would like to see Gonzaga go back to the championship again. I have Arizona. Yeah. I have Arizona taking down Houston in this one. I have Villanova beating Michigan, which is currently happening as we speak. And honestly, with the Texas Tech game, I'm going to take Duke. I just think Duke has a very talented team this year, and this is it. This is it for the coach. This is his 27th March Madness appearance, which is
Coach K.
Incredible. Yeah, Coach K.
I think it might be like 37th, honestly. He's been there since 1980.
This is the 17th appearance in the Sweet 16, I believe.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And this is a dude who 100% probably could go to the NBA and coach a team. And this is a guy who's literally coached Duke since before I was born. Literally was there when Michael Jordan was playing ball at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, and he coaches the USA men's team too. So he does have that pedigree, man. He's certainly a Hall of Famer, Duke, and that's where they're going to win tonight, Duke. Good for ratings. Coach Shea's final carousel, man. Take Duke. You know, Duke. I think Duke's winning tonight against I forget who it is.
It's
Texas
gonna
Tech.
be
TTU.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, very good team, Texas Tech. But give me Duke tonight. Give me something cheeky.
I do want to show my tournament bracket real quick because it's actually been
screen.
Yeah, it's been pretty accurate so far.
Has it been nice?
This point, let me see. This again, dude. Never mind. I can't even show it because okay. This is the problem we had, and this is the reason why I've had to share the post as opposed to having the broadcast go directly to my Facebook, is because every time I get logged out of StreamYard, just because StreamYard logs me out from inactivity after a while, I have to log back in, and then Google Chrome makes my privacy settings block the camera, the microphone, and screen share, and then I have to manually go into my system and fix that. Otherwise,
I
it
just
doesn't
hate
work.
technology sometimes. It's so mid.
This guy needs to chill in the background because that's all I can hear is him screaming.
All right.
But luckily, we're about to wrap the show up. I mean, as of this moment, by next week, I think we will be in at least the Final Four.
I'm pretty sure we will be too. Maybe, yeah. I think we'll be in the final. I think we'll know what the Final Four is.
But right now, currently, my Final Four at the moment is going to be, well, it would have been Iowa and Arizona. And then I have Gonzaga and North Carolina on the other side.
Okay.
But as of right now, I think in order to replace Iowa, it's probably for me right now is going to be.
You had Iowa in the Final Four, dude. Richmond was a lot.
I had Iowa going all the way to the finals to face Gonzaga.
You have Gonzaga winning?
I do have Gonzaga winning, but they're probably not going to. Arkansas is really
trash. That's trash.
Anyways, I think honestly either Kansas or Providence could really get up into the 8 and potentially.
Dude, what if Providence just won the whole thing?
They could. They have a good team this year.
We'd have to go to their parade, bro.
We'd have to.
We'd have to, for sure.
I'd probably have to become a Friars fan for a day.
I would definitely have to be feeling it.
Yeah, definitely.
Prov County.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be lit.
So honestly, as of right now, I think my Final Four at this moment is going to be Gonzaga, North Carolina, Arizona, and Providence.
I need a bracket in front of me, so I can't give you a Final Four, but I think Gonzaga will be there. I think
we'll see.
I think Duke will be there.
Yeah. I mean, at half, they do trail by 3, so we will see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we apologize for the technical difficulties tonight, but we should definitely have a much better and more prepped show for next week. But as always, thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. This is Chet and Duffy signing off, and we will catch you all next week. And as always, go Pats.
Peace. Go Pats.